Your money isn't what you think it is. That $100 bill in your wallet, it isn't backed by gold. It isn't backed by silver. It isn't backed by anything real. It is backed by debt. And the system that created it, the same system every American Muslim is plugged into right now, was designed to make sure you stay in debt, stay confused, and stay dependent. Most people never ask the question, where does money actually come from? Because the answer is uncomfortable. Banks created from nothing with a few keystrokes, and every dollar they create comes with interest attached. Riba, built right into the foundation. Stay with me. In 2 minutes, I'll show you exactly how banks create your money from thin air and what that means for every Muslim in America. You were taught that money has value because the government says so. That's only half the story. And the half they left out is the dangerous part. For most of human history, money was real. Gold, silver, things with actual weight, actual scarcity, actual worth. You couldn't print more gold. You couldn't create silver from a computer screen. The supply was limited, and that limitation protected the people. Islam understood this perfectly. The Islamic economy was built on real assets, gold dinars, silver dirhams, physical trade. No debt-backed paper, no central authority printing wealth just for itself. Then, in 1971, everything changed. President Nixon made one announcement. He ended the gold standard. From that day forward, the US dollar was no longer backed by gold. It was backed by nothing but trust and the full power of the US government. This is called a fiat currency system. Fiat means by decree. In other words, this paper is money just because we say it's money. Now here is where it gets serious. When money is no longer tied to something real, the people who control the printing press control everything. They control prices, they control debt, they control how much your savings are actually worth next year. And that printing press has a name. It's called the Federal Reserve. But before we get to the Fed, you need to understand something even more shocking. The Federal Reserve doesn't actually print most of the money in circulation. Your bank does. So if your dollar isn't backed by gold, what is it actually backed by? That answer changes everything. Here is what your bank never tells you. When you deposit $1,000 into your checking account, you assume that $1,000 is sitting in a vault somewhere, safe, waiting for you. It's not. Your bank is legally allowed to lend out 90% of that deposit immediately. So they lend $900 to someone else. That person deposits that $900 into their bank. That bank lends out $810, and on and on. Your original $1,000 has now become $9,000 in the economy. Where did that extra $8,000 come from? Nowhere. It was created, typed into existence on a screen, backed by your initial deposit, which is still sitting in your account, untouched as far as you're concerned. This is called fractional reserve banking, and it is the engine of the entire modern financial system. Now ask yourself the Muslim question. Every single dollar created through this system comes attached with interest. The $900 loan your bank made, riba. The $810 loan after that, riba. Layer after layer. The entire money supply of the United States is built on riba from the ground up. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is published fact. In 2012, the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago published a document called Modern Money Mechanics. It explains this exact process in plain English. The system creates money through lending, and every single loan carries interest. You aren't just using a system that has some riba in it. You are swimming in a system where riba is the water. But who controls the source of that water? Who decides how much is created, when, and at what cost? Most Americans think the Federal Reserve is a government agency. It's not. The Federal Reserve is a private central banking system. It was created in 1913 by a group of powerful bankers to design the system that controls the value of every dollar in your wallet, every dollar in your retirement account, every dollar in your children's future. Here is how it works. When the U.S. government needs money, and it always needs money, it doesn't just print it. It borrows it from the Federal Reserve. The Fed creates that money from nothing and lends it to the government with interest. So the very foundation of the U.S. money supply is a loan. And that loan carries interest, riba, owed by the government, paid by taxpayers, paid by you, your family, every Muslim working in America today. Here is the number that should stop you cold. The U.S. national debt right now stands above $34 trillion. Every single cent of that is owed with interest attached. Interest that compounds. Interest that grows faster than the economy can produce real wealth. This isn't an accident. This is the design. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as intended for the people who built it. And here is what they never want you to connect. 1,400 years ago, Allah didn't just give Muslims a religious rule about interest. He gave us a complete economic protection system, a shield against exactly this kind of engineered dependency. Now you understand the machine. Here is what Allah said about it. Allah says, Allah has permitted trade and forbidden riba. Al-Baqarah 2:275. Every dollar this system creates violates that command. And now you see exactly how. This wasn't a soft suggestion. This is a direct order. And notice what Allah said. He didn't say, avoid riba when convenient. He said trade, real exchange, real value, real assets, is the halal path. And riba, debt-based money creation, interest on interest, the entire fractional reserve machine, is forbidden. So what does the halal exit actually look like for a Muslim in America today? It starts with understanding what real money is. Gold and silver aren't just commodities. In Islamic finance, they are the standard of real wealth. Physical gold holds value because it cannot be created from nothing. No bank can type gold into existence on a screen. It continues with halal investing. When you invest in real businesses, companies that produce real goods, real services, real value, you are participating in trade, not riba. Halal ETFs, Sharia-compliant stocks, real estate through diminishing musharaka, like a halal rent-to-own partnership. These are the tools Allah's system provides. And it ends with education. Because a Muslim who understands how money is created cannot be manipulated by it. You now see the system for what it is. You know where every dollar comes from. You know who benefits. And you know the halal alternative exists. Built by Allah, refined over 1,400 years, waiting for you to use it. Once you see the math, you can't ignore it. But here is the concerning part. There is a weapon inside this system that works silently, every single day, stealing the value of every dollar you've saved, every dollar you've earned, every dollar you're holding right now. It has a name, and you are probably experiencing it right now without even knowing it. Now you know how money is created. Not by governments, not by hard work, not by real value. By banks. From nothing. With riba attached to every single layer. The Federal Reserve isn't your central bank. It is their central bank, designed to keep the debt machine running forever. And every Muslim in America is plugged into it right now. Knowing the system is step one. Step two is what most Muslims never reach. Because in lesson 3, I expose the hidden weapon built inside this system. A weapon that works silently, stealing the real value of the cash sitting in your account right now. Most Muslims see their bank balance and feel safe. Lesson 3 will end that feeling and replace it with something much more powerful: clarity. This is lesson 2 of 180. Paid knowledge, completely free. Subscribe. Don't miss lesson 3. Educational purposes only, not financial advice.